You know what you should do? Let's check this out. So obviously initially we did this slab first, and the slab, went down pretty well. Boxed it all up and everything, and the only challenge was trying to work out how far I was coming off, because I wasn't sure what I was using, but in the end it turned out pretty well, and we got it all down, and there's a couple of blokes helping, so that was good. Went down good. The slab is nearly 10 and a half by what this bay is 5 meters, so yeah, it's pretty decent slab for in this shed. Yeah, it turned out well, the slab. Come up good, just a broom finish. So when I started this job, to be honest, didn't really have any idea what I was doing. Didn't really know what to expect. Was probably actually the word for it. I hadn't done anything like this ever, because got like these railway line here as a post. So yeah, it's kind of hard working it out to start with, but now it's all done. You just go, oh yeah, like now it's easy. But to start with, it's pretty difficult in my head to start drawing stuff out and then working out how it's going to work and getting ideas of things. But I've never actually I don't know anyone that's actually done anything like this. So if there is someone that's done something similar to this, you should tag them. But yeah, so we went ahead and braced everything up with these cross members here. The shed was being old, like it is out a little bit each way. So instead of mucking around with it and trying to get it all perfect, kind of just worked with what I had. So that's why I got this angle in here, because it does run out a bit. So it's leaning over at the top, and to do that, I just set that on the post so that my Z-purlins, when we sheeted it, were right. Turned out pretty good. So out the front here, this was my main concern, and out the other side there where the other door is. But basically my main concern was, how am I gonna get these doors to slide and work, and what's the best option to go with there. After working it out, it all came together. So as you can see, I have these pad footings here that I put the roller door bracket on for the guides, and I wasn't really sure what size the beam was going to be, so it is overkill. Like, it's way too wide, like not way too wide. It's wider than what it should be. It could be, back here, 50 mil past, but at the time I didn't know what I was working with, so I just kind of expected the worst. And then if it was shorter, which it was, it didn't matter, but if it wasn't long enough, that's when you're in trouble and you have to add to it, and it looks pretty bad, obviously. So it worked out good. These doors, they slide pretty well. These are L-track. They got L-track, they come with everything, like the sliders, the guides, the wheels, nuts, brackets. Yeah, you can do everything with them, so they're pretty good. Yeah, they slide pretty well. Doesn't take much effort to pull that open and shut, so pretty happy with that. Makes it really easy. So these doors, we just used 40 by 40, 2 mil on the outside, and then 30 by 30, 2 mil on the inside. And yeah, it seemed pretty strong. Got the 45-degree angle brace there, holding it in the corners, and then got these two cross braces also to hold it from moving too much, but I don't think it should move, especially with the sheets on it. The sheets hold it pretty straight and square most of the time, so yeah, I'm not really worried about the doors moving or anything. And I designed the top, so that angle brace is obviously right near the roller door, so that the maximum weight's there. So you want that point of where all the weight is distributed out there, so that it doesn't just bend the top 40 by 40. So yeah, it seems to work well. No problems with it. It's staying straight, so it's always a good thing. So on the walls here, you use Z100, 1.5 mil, and I use 100 mil because the top of the truss is pretty close to 100 mil, so it's 100 mil wide for the timber truss. So obviously I had to use it everywhere. So yeah, just 100 mil, and yeah, it worked out well. No problems with the Z. That was good. Z is a good choice. Probably wouldn't use anything else. You could use timber, but steel, at least you get the span of it. Timber doesn't, like, sags a lot and whatever. Very strong. Yeah, probably wouldn't use anything else. Z's the way to go. Use it on all commercial buildings, so use it on most big sheds now anyway, so yeah, there's no point doing anything else. Just stick out what's working. But this is the first roller door that I did. When I did it, I just did it to 10 mil, but it's 5 mil steel, and I had a 10 mil play in the bracket. But yeah, definitely, yeah, it's pretty rattly. So the other ones I changed it to about 6 or 7 mil, so I only had a couple mil, and they're way better because this is pretty noisy. But yeah, that's probably something that I'd change. I'd do next time is make them all a bit less tolerance in the tracks, but it's only a minor issue. So, and as you can see up the top there, even though it's an old shed and it's got the timber bracing on it, I did add some speed brace up there just to hold it all together, because we couldn't really brace the roof since everything's already been done for a long time. So I just added some braces to counteract with the beams and holding the doors up on the ends. So they're going to each corner to hopefully support the post. So support the post up there so that, you know, if something did happen, the speed brace will hold it up there, and then we've got it on each end bay of the roof system there. So yeah, I've got one up here, and then we've got one each corner, so in each bay, so they should be all good with the posts anyway. And then yeah, as you can see with this is a bit of a challenge too. Yeah, and then I did this design for the brackets for the sliding doors, obviously, and worked out pretty good actually. That's just a piece of 40 mil, because it worked out up the top there that that was about the spacing that I had, so chucked that in and just got the 40 by 40 angle. I used it on the bottom here of the doors, so I just used it on that too. So I just bent it and welded it, and it's got four screw anchors in it, so should be plenty for holding the doors in. But yeah, that turned out pretty well. These ones, like I was saying before, they don't wobble as much. Like, they still wobble a bit, but as expected. But yeah, I mean, you have a little bit of play in it, obviously. Yeah, so out the back here, this is probably the biggest challenge, because obviously got this tank and everything in the road, and yeah, but it wasn't a really hard challenge, but it's just hard getting up the top there because I don't have access to I could have got a boom lift, but it's pretty expensive, so boom lift or a knuckle, whatever you want to call it, would have been made a lot easier to get up there and screw that. But this was the most challenging side, but it was the easiest because it's just straight up. But yeah, it turned out really well. This project, as much as I was pretty nervous to do it, it has been a good project because I have learned a lot. On this project, I learned a lot about what to order and how to order it, where to get it through, learned about steel, how much load, and trying to work out weights for doors. And you probably don't really, like, when you take on a project, if someone else is doing everything else for you, you kind of don't really think about what's involved until you have to do it yourself, which I found on a lot of projects that I used to do anyway with other people, but there's a lot more behind the background that you don't see. So I've learned a lot with that, and learned a lot about organisation. You got to try and keep ahead of yourself, and then some things take a couple of weeks, and then you got to make sure that you have enough work. Even though it's just me, you got to make sure you have enough work ahead of you to be able to keep going until everything rocks up. So that's always good. And sometimes things take longer than you expect to. When I was doing the slab and the rat wall, I thought it was going to take, 4 weeks, for example, and it turned out it was double that. So that's something I learnt too. Yeah, I made a few mistakes along the way, but it's always good to learn from. I definitely wouldn't have done it if I didn't have the previous experience with sheds. I learnt from someone pretty good. Shout out to Nige. Yeah, he's really good at what he does. So learned a lot from him doing sheds. Nothing like custom like this, but same sort of principle. Generally, when you do something like this, you can replicate it. It's a little bit different, and you have to hard to think a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, it still definitely helped. If you just had carpentry experience, like just putting houses and frames together, it probably would be, be a bit more difficult. But you can always learn the stuff off YouTube. It's pretty good for that. YouTube and TikTok and Insta, Well, if you know someone that is a builder, you can always ask them for advice, which is good. Because there's a lot of things that you probably don't really realise that you don't know until you try and take it on or whatever. But yeah, most of the stuff I kind of already knew. All the tricks pretty much knew, and not necessarily with the steel and the doors. I knew how to weld and everything, so it kind of all helps, I guess. But still, one of them things. I didn't really know how to I know how to set up boxing and everything for slabs and do the mesh, but I'm not really good on the screed. So wherever you can, I guess, if you're not too good at something, if you can get someone to help you, if you can afford it, it'll look a lot better than trying to do it yourself most of the time. So